Da-da-da, da-da-da,
You're watching Cover 2 with your host, Katie Baird.
Welcome to this week's episode of Cover 2, where we cover you and your fantasy league. You'll have to excuse me this week as I'm suffering from a devastating loss. As you all know, the Phillies have lost the World Series to those damn Yankees. We had a great season. Our boys played well, but it just wasn't enough. Oh well. There's always next year. Now let's get started with this week's lame game of the week. This week's lame game of the week, and no, I'm not talking about Game 6 on Wednesday night, was Penguins Rules' victory over the Icy Ninjas 85-70. Once again, it was a close call whether or not we would have a lame game this week, but 85 points just barely qualifies. This game was decided by the wide receivers. Penguins Rule was led by Reggie Wayne with 20 points, who scored more than all three of Icy Ninjas wide receivers combined. Mike Sims Walker didn't help out once again with another 0. Maybe he should try a wheelchair. One of those really cool electric scooters that I had in Disney World. Both teams are now 5-3 and sit in 3rd and 4th place. Now let's move on to this week's highlighted scores. This week's battle at the top of the standings saw Janelle's Jets come away with a 105-89 win over Get Your Popcorn Ready. Janelle was led by the Bears DST with 31 points, 1 week after they scored 0. Needless to say, Janelle is not satisfied with this inconsistency, as they have already dropped the Bears DST from their roster. On the other hand, Popcorn got a record low -1 points from running back Steve Slayton. He was benched early after a fumble, only to see his backup run for 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. That's gotta suck. Both teams moved to 6-2 on the season and are currently in 1st and 2nd place. Now let's move on to other scores from this week. In a game that featured both this week's highest and lowest scores, the Oilerlanders defeated the Unstoppable Pats 121-64. The Unstoppable Pats had all of their New England Patriots players on bye this week, so they didn't really have too much of a chance in this one. Props to the Oilerlanders on being the first team this season with the highest score 2 weeks in a row. What? Through video air high five. Woo! The Zambonis defeated Tension Echoes 93-76. Matt Forte's 24 points led the Zambonis, who have followed up all 4 losses this season with a win the following week. The Screaming Eagles defeated... Wait, is that right? They won? Oh. The Screaming Eagles defeated the Lucid Bogies 100-74. This is only the second time this season that the Screaming Eagles' opponent has scored less than 108 points, and not coincidentally, this is the second win for the Screaming Eagles. Both teams are still near the bottom of the pack at 2-6. Now it's time for Kickoff Corner, where we review this week's upcoming matches. This week, the Screaming Eagles look to make it 2 wins in a row as they try and upset the 6-2 Get Your Popcorn Ready. The Eagles have actually scored 39 more points than Popcorn over the course of the season, so an upset might not be that surprising. We also have a battle of cousins fighting for a playoff spot in a rematch of a 2007 semifinal as the 4-4 Unstoppable Pats face the 5-3 Icy Ninjas. Now it's time for the message board post of the week. This week's message board post is from nothing. Really? Let's just move on to Owner Spotlight. This week's spotlight is on the commish himself, Jimmy Baird. Jimmy is a 2005 graduate of Johns Hopkins University and currently resides in Norristown, PA. He is well known for his outgoing personality, wild antics, and love of alcohol. Oh wait, sorry, that's me. Actually, Jimmy is extremely boring and decided not to participate in this segment other than giving me the script. Good one, Jimmy. Jimmy has 3 passions in life: sports, technology, and reality television. Jimmy is the defending champion in the league, as the Zambonis defeated the unstoppable Pats in last year's championship game. He was also a semifinalist in both 2006 and 2007. He manages the league in his spare time and is the creator / producer / editor / co-writer / cameraman on this show, Cover 2. He has created a new feature that we are going to reveal right now called the Power Rankings. Go, go, Power Rankings! The Power Rankings assign each team a score from 1 to 10 in 3 different categories, with 10 being the best. The first category is your record, the second total points, and the third is the breakdown standings. The breakdown calculates what your overall record would be if you played against every team each week. As you can see, the Orlanders are currently in first in the Power Rankings, despite being in 5th place in the standings. The most surprising thing is that the Screaming Eagles are tied for the best breakdown record, and yet they are buried in 8th place in the standings with 2-6 record. If you have any questions about how this works, feel free to contact our commish, Jimmy Baird. That's our show for this week. Thanks for tuning in to Cover 2, where we cover you and your fantasy league. See you next time, and until then, stay classy, San Diego. I mean, Philadelphia. I mean, planet Earth.